Hey, what's going on? All the leagues coverage here. Friday, I think, end of January, January 31st. Wow, just kind of prepping for Christmas, New Year's, and it's already almost the end of the month, almost February. Um, in the midst of so much fun when it came to the NFL, the Broncos. Um, that's actually, that was just a few days ago when the Broncos absolutely broke my heart and decided to score 7 points and find a way to lose to the Patriots. But hey, good luck to the Patriots. Can't stand either team, but they're going to play in the Super Bowl, Seattle and the Patriots. So good luck to them. But I wanted to do a quick bit of coverage on the NBA. All the leagues coverage, so covering all the leagues in that regard. The NBA, the Timberwolves, game of the night last night against OKC. So this game pits two sides of the equation for me. One side, the team I hate the most. A team that is only around in the NBA because David Stern and Clay Bennett colluded, ripped them from Seattle, took away the beloved Supersonics, and brought them to OKC, to Oklahoma City. That was trash. That was BS, for sure. And now they have been in the league for about 17 years. They recently won a championship based on their mentality. Their mentality is foul every chance you get, and on the other side, flop every chance you get. So can't exactly like that kind of team. And in fact, I hate them with a passion. Love the Timberwolves. So last night's game was a big deal, and the Timberwolves went out and won that game. Those who should be highlighted, Jaden McDaniels. When he's aggressive, playing hard on both offense and defense, they are so tough to beat. Bones Highland came in and played well. Randall was okay. Ant was pretty good. But all in all, the Timberwolves formula is always this. If they come out, play with energy, they can beat anybody. They made over 23 pointers in the game. They shot efficiently. Nas came in and hit quite a few like he always does. Across the board, they deserve to get that victory. And surprisingly, last night, there were certainly spurts from OKC where they had to do their flops. They were like looking at the game clock and saying, "Man, we're down by about 14 here. Let's turn the flopping up. We're only at a 4 out of 10 on the flop meter. Let's get up to about 9.5 out of 10." So Lou Dort, nominated for my Flop Divas starting five here. I'll be sharing that upcoming. He's up there with Tumani Kamara, up there with SGA, etc. Across the board. But the Timberwolves, that game last night, big deal for a lot of reasons. They had won a couple of games. They took on the G League affiliate for the Warriors earlier in the week and beat them. And then they also beat the Dallas Mavericks, who basically have a JV squad going right now. They're all professional basketball players. I don't want to make light of it too much, but it is the truth. I mean, you're missing out on your top 2 or 3 best players. Another team like the Wolves should certainly come on with victory. So 3 in a row. Positivity abounds. And not only did you just win last night's game, you beat one of the best teams in the league, and you did it in convincing fashion. So kudos to them. Low light, Stan Van Gundy ever announcing in any game. He is the worst. At one side here, Steve Nash. Love Steve Nash. I'd love to hear him in every game. He is so bright. He's so intelligent. He brings a sense of just perfection to the announcing booth. And then on the other side, lard-ass Stan Van Gundy telling the same joke about, well, that Minnesota wind is blowing that ball off to the side. Not funny. Not a good announcer. Why do we keep featuring this guy? Let's do something to stop that. Anyway, big coverage from last night, all the leagues. NBA, Timberwolves destroy OKC in Minneapolis for a much-needed win. A little bit more Timberwolves coverage here as we're getting into the trade deadline zone. You asked me a week ago, I would have said, well, Timberwolves, they need to do something. Man, they need to make some trades. They need to do X and Y and Z. Now they've won 3 in a row. And based on the results of one game, really, over OKC, not only did they just kind of randomly beat them, they handled them in a big way. I know that the OKC Thunder were without one of their best players in Jalen Williams, but still. Across the board, the top 6 for the Timberwolves are outstanding. Really like Dante and Jaden, like Gobert, Randall, Nas. Beyond that, super questionable. Bones Highland has given them a lot in the last couple of games. Previous to that, he was bad. Conley's averaging like a point a game. He just can't do it anymore. He's a great guy. I think he should be a coach. I just don't think he should be playing anymore. Joe Ingles is as old as me, wrong side of 40. Berenger is young, all that good stuff. So they've got a lot of talent. And I guess the question to everybody else, feel free to comment. Should they make a big move? Should they even trade anybody? Should they just make a small move? Will the Bucks trade Giannis for Mike Conley? I hope. Fingers crossed, I hope. But in that regard, I vote for small move. I just like to see them get a combo guard. Just nobody insane by any stretch, but just a decent combo guard that could help the bench. I like Jalen Clark. He had a great game last night. Shout out Jalen Clark for having a great game last night. Overwhelmingly, he's had a rough year. Terrence Shannon, ongoing, lingering injuries, etc. Everybody knows they don't even really have a point guard, but a lot of teams don't have your Chris Paul style point guard at this point. So I don't think that that's a massive deal having that. But would I like a little bit more bench help with a viable guy who can come in and give you 20 minutes a night off the bench? Sure. But the obvious question is, what do you give up? And then does that weaken your team? So no easy answers here. I love their top 6. If someone said Jalen Clark and Berenger are going to consistently be great upcoming and Terrence is going to be great, I'd say keep it as is. But what do you think? Comment. Small move, big move, no moves, what's their outlook, etc. A couple of bits more news here in the Minneapolis metro area in regard to our professional teams. Quick update, Derek Falvey left. You see this is a genuine Major League bat. He's leaving the Twins, so the president of operations, high level, higher up, been there for 10 years. He's on his way out a couple of weeks before spring training. Who could blame him? Kind of like a guy jumping off a sinking ship. So there's that news. And then the bigger news is Adofo-Mensah getting fired from the Vikings organization. I've been there, 4 years? Had a pretty darn good record. I don't know if you attribute that to mostly KOC or what. I will say this, as far as acquisitions, free agency, he did a good job. The draft was awful. We can all agree that the draft was awful, correct? Does anybody feel like the Vikings have had a good draft in a while? I mean, they could draft some wide receivers. I mean, Addison was drafted under Adofo-Mensah. The rest of them, not so good. A big one a few years back, I could remember it, and I think every Vikings fan did. They had the 14th pick. They needed a safety. Kyle Hamilton was there from Notre Dame. Consensus. Everybody across the board, they're like, the Vikings are going to make that draft pick. They'll have a great safety for years to come. Said they trade down, they get Lewis Seen and Andrew Booth, who don't even play on NFL rosters anymore, and Kyle Hamilton is an all-pro. They've just missed on so many draft picks over the years. I guess everybody was fed up and said they had enough. So that's a little bit interesting because the winning percentage under his leadership as GM was high. But what does everybody think? Good move or bad move to fire Adofo-Mensah?